All right, folks, it's 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning in Albuquerque, so it's time to check in at 1 Million Cups. Point your phone at the QR code on the screen or on those cards that are lying around. If you check in 3 times, you'll get a Million Cups pen. 6 times, you'll get the coveted Million Cups notebook. There we go. So this is our mission. Our mission is to make it possible to be an entrepreneur. That's a difficult journey. So we're here to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for new and aspiring entrepreneurs all across the United States, but of course we're in New Mexico, and that's where we focus. How do we do that? The Kauffman Foundation provides us with a consistent program. They train the organizers in how to coach the presenters and how to run a successful 1 Million Cups. And of course, there are unique aspects to the New Mexico startup community, and we take full advantage of those. There's lots of 1 Million Cups chapters all over the United States, close to 200. We're the only one in New Mexico. There are plenty of others. If you're ever on the road and near any of those cities on a Wednesday morning, I encourage you to drop in. They're not strangers, they're just friends you haven't met. The format is exactly the same as it is here. The questions are pretty much the same. So don't worry about it, you'd fit right in anywhere you go. Wow, that's really... Okay, and here's our fundamental pillars. These are presentations, not pitches. In a pitch, typically for money, your company has everything it needs to be successful except a large amount of capital. And you have the perfect people, and if you just get the money, you're going to be able to ring the opening bell at the NASDAQ in about 2 years. Okay, everybody knows that it's not really like that inside a company. And you need a place where you can talk about the challenges that you're facing and reach out to the community for help. And this is that place. So when you get up here and it's time to talk about your company, be honest about the challenges. Think of a good ask that you'd like from the community. And if you haven't presented yet, that's a great thing to think about. If 1 Million Cups worked out perfectly for you, what would you get? So that's something to think about. We're run for the community, by the community. All the organizers are volunteers. We're radically and intentionally inclusive. We include all kinds of people, all kinds of entrepreneurs, and all kinds of businesses. Everybody is welcome. And in order to keep it that way, remember that this is a place where people get educated. They learn things. There's probably stuff you know that nobody else in the room knows. See if anybody else needs to know that. There's stuff that other people in the room know that you need to know. You should find out what that is. So work the room, talk to people, and over the course of attending, over several weeks, you'll make some solid connections, and I think that'll help you in your journey of entrepreneurship. It has certainly helped me. All right, it's really easy to present. If you have a for-profit business, defined as a business that sells goods or services for more than it costs to produce them, and you've sold to somebody besides your mom, you're eligible. We prefer companies that are less than 5 years old, but if you've made a major pivot or we've been following you all along and we enjoy an update, you're also welcome to present. Companies that are not quite in market yet but have received some grant funding to pursue their ideas, they're also welcome to present. So it's pretty easy. Just talk to one of us and we'll guide you through the application process and assign you a coach. Wow.
Need a new battery or something?
Something. I think this does. My batteries are fine. I'm Paul. These are the organizers. I'm Paul Sutter from Equiseek. Lisa Atkins here from Fatpipe. Eric Renz-Whitmore, maybe online. Danielle. And Sonia is certainly online. I saw her this morning. And say hello to Keiko and Oscar, are often joining us online as well. So any one of these people are great people to talk to about the possibility of presenting here and what you'll get out of it. It's also a pleasure to thank our sponsors. Fatpipe, we have entered our 10th year of doing 1 Million Cups at Fatpipe. We have never paid a dime to use this facility. So bravo to Lisa and Stuart at Fatpipe for hosting us these many years, and think of what they've contributed to the community. Also, Jason Collin Photography, great stuff, making us look good all the time. More than organized. Organizing your stuff, your thoughts, and providing creamer. Foundation for Sustainable Living is our coffee sponsor. Noventum, custom software development, making software that doesn't suck, and also providing baked goods. And Minuteman Press, if you need to put ink on paper, for people who aren't viewing the entire world through their phones, those are your people. So thanks for joining us, and I'm going to hand it over to Lisa.
Hi guys, we have a great presenter this morning. I haven't seen him much at 1 Million Cups except online for the last couple weeks, so he did the first part of being able to present. You have to attend. Aaron, come on up. This is Aaron Pung. He's also an eye care, what do you call it? Eyewear entrepreneur. So this is cool. Second one in about a couple of months. So Aaron, I'm going to bring up your slides. Hold on to the microphone and we'll get started.
Here's your slide thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. Very nice to see so many people here. I'll wait for the slides to get pulled up. This presentation, by the way, is for anybody who's worn eyeglasses or sunglasses or even tried contacts and just hates them. I'm a software developer by day. I wear those giant, massive over-ear headphones, but I also tend to wear eyeglasses, and the temples right here, they hurt. They hurt a lot, and so this was bugging me. It hurts my wife. She's in a similar profession, so I did something to try to get around it. All right, so this is me. My company is Snowy Optics, and Snowy Optics revolutionizes eyewear. I would bet that if I were to go around and say, hey, how many of you have bought glasses but seen a legit different alternative to glasses? I don't think I'd get many answers other than contacts. So this is a little bit about me. My company started in 2014, straight out of grad school, but I just started it, had no idea what I was doing with it. And it wasn't until 7 years later when I got my first patent. To me, that was like a drug, and I've been using it for my creative outlet ever since. By training, I'm a scientist and I'm an innovator, but really at heart what makes me happy is I like creating and I like helping people. So in 2023, I decided to take a shot at solving this eyewear problem because, dang it, it's the future and we're smarter than this as a species. So the technology is patent pending. But if I were to do a direct comparison between what I'm going to be talking about, which is what I'm wearing right now, and a regular pair of eyeglasses, there's a comparison here that I've tried to, well, the quote's in the way. Is there a way that we can move that? Perfect, thank you. So the weight itself, if you pop the lenses out of glasses, because I'm going to need those, you're going to need those, what I'm wearing right now is roughly 11 times lighter, 11 times less volume than any eyeglasses that you'll ever wear or ever see. Additionally, there's a design where you can put 2 pair of lenses on at the same time using the same technology, and you can't really do that with regular eyeglasses. So the other part about that is that if I ask you to simply take your glasses that you're wearing right now, just pop those lenses out, take another pair out of your pocket and pop them right back in, you probably couldn't do that. I can, because these are magnetic. I can slide the lens off, grab another one, slide it right back on. So that's just an idea to give you kind of the product that I'm going with here. Where's the clicker?
Sorry, I let someone in the room and it took focus off your slides.
Not a problem. All right, cool. So the actual technology kind of looks like this. So it's basically a pincer unit with a flat unit on the base. Now the flat unit uses a double-sided adhesive to stick to your skin, but the adhesive itself is a double-sided medical-grade tape for 3M that's meant to work and treat your skin very nicely. Now the pincer end is actually being updated as we speak. As I mentioned, these are magnetic, but the idea is that it pinches the lens and it holds it rigidly in front of your face. I'm going to do this for a moment. There's a lot of forces going on there. They don't move. Shake my head side to side, do all this jam. They're pretty rigid, right? So a lot of what you get out of the regular sunglasses. But the question is, who needs these? Well, military, sports, aviation. I'm a pilot myself. This is a problem that bothered me, especially people in safety. Over your headphones, there's a lot of things that don't work out with regular sunglasses and eyeglasses, and they haven't changed in some 800 years. Fascinating history if you want to look it up. These are my beta testers. These are some of my best friends, not literally, but they went out of their way to help me beta test this. So these are total strangers that I shipped my product to as if they had bought it, and they tested it, took it out of the packaging, read the instructions, put it on, sent me these great pictures. So I'm not just talking about like, oh, professionals need these. regular people too. So there's an issue. When I gave these product prototypes to my beta testers, I said, my lenses are too thick, my vision is very bad, and because my vision is bad, my lenses are thick, my lenses are heavy, and that actually broke that clasp, right? So this is that build, measure, learn feedback loop that we hear about in lean startup. And so my lenses are too thick. They would take these products and they'd throw them in the trash, and they'd take a picture of it in the trash saying, until you can get this product fixed, that's where this belongs. And so this version 2 is what I'm rocking right now. You get rid of this hard geometry up there with the pincer that, you know, thin lenses, thick lenses take different pincers, and you replace it with a magnet. Simple, elegant, easy. So in terms of where the company is at, right? So we have the stages of pre-startup where it's just an idea, startup where you've kind of reached your minimum viable product, and you're also trying to find that product market fit. But to do that, you need customers and lots of feedback before you can actually start selling. So Snowy Optics has a lot of good things going for it. It has intellectual property. We have a website, tandemeyewear.com. We have product designs. We have beta testers. In our first version, we had 10 beta testers. In our next version, we'll have 12 unique, separate, individual beta testers. We actually have collaborations going with the Rice University and the University of New Mexico. And independently, they're helping me run a market research study on this very product. And that's important because to me, as an innovator and scientist, I don't know sales. I don't know marketing. That's not how my brain was wired. So ultimately, that's what I'm hoping to gain from this community and these interactions. The other thing is sales, right? FDA actually classifies eyeglasses and sunglasses and eyeglass frames as a class 1 medical device, meaning you as a company have to register with the FDA, and that's some $8,000 per year on top of special labeling instructions. But this is a brand new product, so I don't know where the FDA sits with it, so I have to petition them for classification before I can register just to sell. And that's a part of the process that I'm in right now. But without the FDA regulation and registration, I can't have customers because I would be illegally selling a product that's a medical device. So I think I'm there. I don't know. There's a star. I put it there. But I do have a minimum viable product, and I'm trying to find that product market fit with my beta testers. What I'm asking from you, for the community, is mentorship. I think I have the engineering background to update and modify products. I can clearly fabricate these using a 3D printer. I can find beta testers, but that's half the problem, if that. I need mentorship. I don't know how to sell. I don't know how to market. I don't even know how to go about advertising this. Facebook, Twitter, Instabook, I don't know what they are, but maybe that's a viable option. And that's what I'm hoping to get from you guys. Thank you for your time. I know it's valuable and I appreciate it.
You coming up here, Paul? We're going to take questions now, so form a line. Anybody on Zoom, feel free to raise your hand and I'll call on you, or put it in chat and I'll call on you. Come on up. Come up so they can see you online and use the microphone.
So thanks very much. That was great fun. I share your pain. I'm a scientist. I'm not a marketing person myself. And we were reviewing another company, and one of the people doing the review said, the first thing these science companies should do is hire a marketing person. So that's what we're going to do. That's what you should do. But I do have a connection for you at UNM, and that's done a lot for me, and I'll share that with you after we're done.
Thank you.
Sue wants you to get up closer to the camera so she can see your glasses. So just do that for the online audience. And then, Sue, I'll call on you in just a minute for your question. Very good. Thank you.
So can I be a guinea pig and get one of a pair of glasses?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, realistically speaking, let me grab your contact info. I'm looking for people of all different backgrounds, ages, everything. That'd be great, thank you.
How's it going, man? So yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about being a beta tester as well, because I wear glasses, I wear contacts, so I'm on set a lot, so I can't wear my glasses. So commercial actors, so something different, and I think that'd be pretty cool for people on set to be like, what is that? And you know, entertainment industry loves new stuff like that, so I can help you with that. Second question was, so me as a eyeglass wearer, if I have a prescription, do I just order the lenses and then just pop them in those, or how does that work?
Yeah, so that's a great question, right? It's a shift in paradigm. When you go into an eyeglass store, you say, I need lenses, and then I get to spend 3 hours looking for a frame that fits my face, that fits my style, that fits my attitude. What if there were no frames? Like, it's a different shift, right? You only need lenses, no matter what shape, no matter what thickness, no matter what size. You would just have this little tiny magnet that's on the, little tiny magnet that's on there,
Oh, I see that, okay.
and then you would just put it on your lens. Done. And you're gone. And the beautiful thing about this is, you and I can go into the same eyeglass shop, along with Lisa, why not? And we could all get different lenses, but use one pair of hardware, and it would fit all our faces. See? So somebody with a different nose structure, somebody with a larger face than mine or a skinnier face, we could all wear the exact same hardware, and it alleviates 90% of the problem.
That's cool. All right, we'll talk. Yeah,
Thanks,
that's
man.
cool.
Sue Perlosny, you have a question online?
Hi, and thank you, Erin. And I do wear glasses, especially when I'm on a computer. This is more of an aesthetic question. When you take the pincers off, do they leave a mark on your nose? And if they do, can you easily just get rid of it?
So great question, right? Because we don't want to have marks on our faces at the end of a long, hard working day. So the double-sided tape, I've noticed I wear these for 8 hours at a time, and at the end, I maybe have a little oval, little spot there, but you're gonna have that with glasses anyways. And that oval fades, right? So it's not suction, so you're not bringing blood to the surface of your skin. It's not glue, so there's no chemicals. It's just something that fades very, very quickly. Great question, though.
Thanks. Sounds great. I'll be your guinea pig.
Perfect. I'm loving this.
Hello, Miriam Ortiz-Pino with More Than Organized. The marketing piece, definitely get help sooner rather than later. It will help you identify the niche, the messaging, the potential client pool, all of those things, which then in turn dictates what you develop in what order. So it works hand in hand, and it's the easiest thing to outsource. The other thing, you didn't mention people that just have readers. Like, seems like there would be a huge market for just reader lenses in Walgreens or Walmart or Costco.
That's a great point. And, well, both of them, right? So my hope is that when you walk into Walgreens and they have that rack of readers that I spin for fun every time I walk by, you would just have a little bucket, a little shelf, because these are much smaller than readers, right? And somebody could just say, oh, I'll buy these along with my purchase, and then that's that, right? Pop the lenses down and call it good. Great idea. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jay Pullen, and as you can tell, I prefer glasses with as little frame as possible myself. But what I'm noticing is that as you wear them now, your two lenses are not aligned. And you know, I wear bifocals, but of course I have the gradient lenses. And so where they are in a vertical position is very, very important. And I was wondering if you have experimented with a mechanism that's, when you snap them on there, they're going to pop into the right location, or do you have to sit there and play with them until you get them just in the right place?
This is a really great question. I have another friend whose eyeglasses are so specific in their shape that unless they're looking straight through the very center of the lens, everything is skewed and it gives them a headache. This is, in all honesty, it's a prototype. I'm not to that stage yet, but I recognize that it is a definite problem. I've put a lot of thought into it. I don't know the answer. And that's something that future development. And also, I actually have really good eyesight. So ironically, I don't need the glasses that I should be using to test these products. So I don't have the thick lenses. I don't have the highly specialized lenses to use. So if you have a pair of those and you don't want them, I would happily take them to build a prototype from. Thank you.
We can go to a question online. Phil, you have some input? He's trying to unmute your. There he goes. There he goes.
Hi, sorry about that. Phil Wilton from Executive Outcomes, thinking differently and simply about strategy. So I've got a couple of questions, 2-3 questions for you. You said that you're concerned about FDA approval, or you're trying to get FDA approval. But if a customer has their own lenses, you said they can clip those lenses into your frames?
So these were built off the premise that you wouldn't want to buy new eyeglasses just to use these. In fact, when I ship these, I give you a set of lenses. But the idea is that you would take your readers or eyeglasses, that's what I did with these lenses, and you simply pop them out of the frame, throw the frames away because you won't be needing them anymore, and then simply pop them on and position them.
Do they have to be a certain size?
No, they are size. They are size, and I believe they are weight agnostic. I say I believe they are weight agnostic because, again, I don't have the thick Coke bottle frames to use to prototype and really test this.
Right, because so I guess size in terms of large or small is not so prevalent. What about the thickness of the glass? So somebody who has a severe eye and they need thicker glasses, can you fit thin ones as well as thick ones?
I believe so. I actually have a pair or a friend in northern New Mexico who's shipping me a pair exactly like what you're talking about. So at home, and I should have brought these, I have very large sunglass lenses that I wear when I drive that I can easily just clip them on as well. So you're right that size may not matter as much, but weight and thickness certainly will be an issue. And I haven't had the chance to test that yet.
Right, and so something else you need to think about then is that also if they're getting kind of bifocals, then they could be thicker at the top and thinner at the bottom, or vice versa. So I would suggest you kind of get some MVPs along that kind of product line as well. So if a consumer, so let's just suppose you have clips that fit all sizes, all makes, all thicknesses. If they decide to purchase their lenses and from an FDA approved eye clinic and put them into those frames, does that make you liable?
You have great questions, and I don't know the answer to that. So I just started scratching the surface of going to eyewear stores, independent eye retailers or eyewear retailers, and saying, hey, here's my product. You can see it in the flesh, right? Talk to me about how that process would look like if these were sold in a store like yours. So I'm not asking them to sell. I'm just asking what would happen with the insurance. How would that look like?
Yeah, I think that's something that you need to get your proposed marketing group to actually research. And the last curveball I'm going to throw at you is that let you know that 95% of the world's glasses are made by one company in Italy called Luxottica.
Yeah.
All right. If you're successful with your product, they're going to get very upset, but they're very big and they're very powerful. So what do you think they might do? They might buy your patent.
Well, they could offer to buy or license is really what I'm going for, right? So licensing would still give me the rights to it, but it is a patented technology in the United States held solely and individually by me, which means that they can only license it. Otherwise, they can wait 20 years and try their luck after I've already had my niche in the market.
Right, but I'm just advising you. I don't know if you know or didn't know, but this one company in Italy owns 95% of all the brand glasses that are made in the world. And so that's going to be your competition going forward if you're successful.
I wish them the best of luck.
I wish you the best of luck with that as well, because they're a big company. But do look at those other earlier ones about sizes and things as well.
Thank you.
That's my input.
I guess my question kind of follows on what Phil was saying about going with the partly answered, but you know, things like the interocular, the distance, it seems like it'll be hard to control with those. Maybe it's consistent day to day. And also, like, how would somebody go about buying a pair of lenses that was right? Maybe, like, even if you pop them out, how do you get back to the same distance and all that stuff? And what are you going to provide to do that? And it'd be worthwhile, which it sounds like you're doing, to step through that whole process. How does a person pick a shape for a lens that works with this thing? How does a person, right? How does the lens company, and how intently does the company selling the lenses have to work with you in order to get these on the market?
Those are great questions. And so the approach, as you alluded to right now, that I'm taking is more of a shotgun approach instead of a sniper rifle, if you will. So the shotgun approach that I chose was to take people that I know wear glasses, but I don't know their prescriptions. I don't know how sensitive their glasses are, and I don't know how thick the lenses are. And I'm just going to send out this product and see where it breaks. Now, if I identify where it breaks, maybe it is alignment. But if I send it out to 50 people and alignment is never reported back as an issue, maybe that problem accidentally got solved. But thickness is certainly the biggest problem that I have right now. And thickness suggests weight, and weight suggests biomechanical issues that maybe I haven't thought of. But you can't please everyone at the same time. You can't solve the world's problems over coffee, despite what some nights at a bar might seem, right? So I'm trying my hardest. I realize that these are issues, and I don't have the lenses to test that. So if you'd like to donate lenses, I'm more than happy to use them.
Jess has a comment, and Jess, I want to apologize. It's my fault that link wasn't working, but do you want to share your comment with Aaron?
Yeah, it's really brief, but as I was listening to you speak, I think this is a really brilliant. Sorry?
We're having trouble hearing you. Make sure you get rid of your mic.
I think it could be a really useful specialty product for people who wear an eye patch or have permanent eye injury because they wear regular glasses, and perhaps this could be a niche market that you could use to get a foothold while you're making your commercial strategy.
A wonderful suggestion. Yeah, thank you.
Hey there, great product. I think it's very fascinating, very interesting. Ryan Mass with Orange Hummingbird, and I wear glasses. I have lots of different kinds of glasses for all sorts of things. And I'm also a cyclist, so I have all sorts of different glasses for when I'm cycling for different conditions, etc. So very fascinated by this because I have that sort of intersection of issues between needing different types of lenses for different conditions and also needing to make sure that it's comfortable for 4 hours with a helmet on my head. So I'm just curious, have you been able to stress test this in situations like that? Because I think you're adding a complexity when you're talking about not just function, but also safety if you're going down a mountain at 40 miles an hour and what's going to happen to that safety device at that point. So I'm just curious if you've been able to do that, and are you seeking to look at that as an option as well?
That's a great question, and the short answer is yes. The longer answer is that for the last few weeks and the announcements for 1 million cups, they've been talking about a pitch competition that's coming up. And that is specifically towards people who do outdoor recreating, right? So I myself, I like hiking, but you don't typically wear a helmet while hiking. So I did the next logical thing. I went out and I bought a skateboard. And with the skateboard, I bought a helmet, and the helmet is very, very similar to biking helmets, right? Thinking that I could solve these problems at the same time. So last night, actually, I took the skateboard with these and with a helmet strapped, geared, everything. And I was riding up and down the street, and I know it's not 40 miles an hour. But as a scientist, as a physicist, the only thing that would cause these to malfunction is if magnetism stopped working. Now, if magnetism stops working, our lives get a whole lot worse. And so I'm trusting this product to work on that, but as a biker, would you please beta test for me? Because awesome, thank you.
I'll connect with you afterwards. But yeah, happy to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Alan, you have some input? Let Alan go first.
Yes, Aaron, there were three areas that were touched on earlier. The regulatory path that you have to travel, the liability issues, and then this major competitor. And at some point, I mean, people really don't like to spend money on lawyers. And I think that the legal profession in general likes that because it's a lot cheaper to hire lawyers early and avoid problems. Lawyers make a whole lot of money if you don't do that and then get into problems and then have to hire them. So I'll just give you one little bit of advice that I got, in fact, a long time before I started practicing law. 75% of the law is logical and makes perfectly good sense, and you can intuit the answer to many things. Unfortunately, 25% of the law is illogical and makes no sense whatsoever. And you can't tell whether something's the 75 or the 25. So at some point early on, just have in your planning that you should engage attorneys to look at these issues before they become challenges. I mean, particularly the regulatory pathways can be dense and full of blind alleys and illogical dead ends. And having someone who can help you get through that could actually save you time and money. Even it's counterintuitive. Why do I have to spend money to save money? Well, that's kind of the way the world works. And the liability issue can really be a challenge. And it would be good knowledge to have to know where those landmines are so that you can deal with them in your planning. There's so many things in running a business that are going to be very frustrating for you, but the earlier you identify those issues and take steps to deal with them, then I think, you know, it will be cost efficient and time efficient as well. So I think you have, I mean, it sounds like you have a great idea, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you for that. So the legal issues have been something that I've tried doing my own very poor research on. And you're right, it is a myriad of details here and there that can lead down some alleys that you never really thought of. Unfortunately, legal counsel, I've heard, costs money. And as a purely bootstrapped company with absolutely zero funds, this is something that I'm hoping to delay as long as possible, even though that might be the wrong route to go. So again, not asking anybody for any capital or anything, but if I had capital, that's the first place that I would put it, because that to me, exactly as you're saying, is one of the more highest return kind of deposits that I could make with that. It's just, I don't have that now because any funds that I do have are going to support the patents and the office actions and getting everything solidified so that the product itself can't be stepped on. And besides, I'm waiting for the FDA, so I can't really do anything.
Just the thought to keep in the back of your mind. When you're out and about having these kinds of conversations, making presentations, you're going to run into attorneys. And in the category of it never hurts to ask, some law firms are willing to invest their time in startups for some little piece of the action down the road. And that could be something just to keep an open mind to. So if you may not have to come up with money at a time when you need that advice. So it doesn't hurt to ask. You just keep an open mind to the possibility.
Will do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, I have a background in B2B systems, general management, account management, customer operations and things. As I speak, I don't know that I have a question, but I guess I have a couple of comments. So one is on patent law. I don't know a lot about it. Talked to one guy in the room before who said he got his product patented in multiple countries. And companies can go around patents by developing it in a country where it's not patented. So that may be one consideration. I think another, I don't know about the FDA approvals and what needs to be approved, but in the discussion of liability and pricing and other things, I think what might be interesting is segmenting. And when I say segmenting, thinking about multiple variables, which should be great for a scientist, but one is, for example, on pricing, you have a fashion expert in the back, you have an actor here. If you go sort of with the tipping point or whatever, if you get something that people think is cool and promote, you may be able to price it much higher. So one might be pricing, like, do I want to go high price or low price? Because you've mentioned it'd be kind of cool to have them in drugstores and people could just pick them out of the bin. That's probably very low margin business, whereas if you can get influencers to wear them, you could go high margin. I think another segment is safety and liability. So when I ask about FDA approval, I can see that, for example, I wear glasses. If I lost my glasses driving, and I've had, or previously when I wore prescription sunglasses, sometimes I'd enter a long tunnel. And it becomes a little bit of a problematic because it gets very dark. But it's also a little bit problematic to switch glasses. So there are things that are complicated, but I can imagine if you're flying a plane, driving a car, and it falls out and you have a problem, you may have a very big liability issue. Another way of looking at it would be the sunglass market. So I don't know if sunglasses need FDA approval, but there may be some sunglasses that don't. So you could say, like, segment what's easy, low liability. And just think about multiple different categories. And I think another one is partnerships. So you've mentioned you've gone to a lot of eyeglass shops. I know that the guy that invited me here originally said there's a guy in New Mexico that does sunglasses. And he sells very high quality sunglasses for low prices. But I heard one of the feedbacks, I wasn't here for the meeting, was just style. So one of the things might be to say, okay, I want to try to find a lens company, for example, a sunglass company that doesn't have major liability issues or something. And I want to try to get 3, 4, 5 different types of lenses. So you have lenses for bigger faces, smaller faces, and people can try them on. And then if you can find someplace, that, for example, that sells them, that carries those, it's different than, because I know when I've tried on glasses, it's always trying on the frames. And then they'll sit me down and say, okay, your prescription's pretty bad. I recommend higher index lenses that are thinner. And they're different materials, and the price varies considerably. But if I've never thought about, like, I've thought about it from the thickness perspective, but I've never thought about it from the shape perspective. The frame's always where I've thought about the shape perspective. But one of the things is, if you have those different lenses, and someone can say, okay, I want to try the pilot lenses, or I want to try something smaller, it adds sort of a fashion component to it. So to me, it's quite interesting, it's exciting. I think in terms of patent stuff, like, you don't want to just go against the big boys. I mean, I think it'd be better to, if you can product something, you could always sell to them or license to them. But I think you'd never want to be in a place where someone can spend $100,000, or they have internal counsel. So they can get a lawyer to spend a day a week making your life miserable. So I think you probably want to avoid that too. And then just on the prescription front, so I know you contacted me and I know I owe you something, but one of the things I thought of is I've been living in Taiwan. I came to the US, I have photoglazed glasses, so if I go outside they become sunglasses. I don't have extra lenses. And for me, wearing sunglasses isn't that convenient because if I do, I need contacts. So I just think there are multiple aspects to think of. I think one gentleman spoke and he said he has lots of glasses lying around. So I know I have old glasses. The issue might be the prescription's not exactly the same. But for those, I wouldn't mind taking them apart and just wearing them. But if you do find someone with glasses that's going to do both, that sort of interoperability is important. Yeah, so those are just some ideas. If you have questions or whatever, I'd be more than willing to talk to you in more detail.
That's great feedback. Kind of in the order that you mentioned. Number one, if somebody's going to steal the product, then someone's always going to steal the product. I can't stop that. Even if I get a patent, could they replicate it? Sure, I could 3D print eyeglasses or a gun, even though all of those are already patented, right? Like, it's going to happen. Secondly, if a big company wants to come in and really stomp on me, they would have done that anyways. If they have the lawyers, fine. If they want to do that, fine. But I took my shot, right? I don't know what else I can do about that. In terms of the different lenses, I absolutely agree that there are so many different niches that you could go in. I don't know about the liability, but one of my beta testers in the next round is actually a pilot, and he's more than happy to go up in a plane with that. And I'm hoping that the more evidence that I get for bikers, for pilots, for this and that, who go on these multi-hour trips and nothing happens, I'm hoping for some of that social street cred, if you will, to kind of kick back in and say, well, car crashes are unfortunately going to happen. Plane crashes are unfortunately going to happen. But this product is safe, at least for these group of people, right? There's a lot of avenues to go down. I'm just starting. I don't really know which one is going to be best.
Yeah. I think there are ways to do lower liability. Mm-hmm. Like if you say these are sunglasses for the beach or for fun, I mean, just the way you market them. If you have a competitive mountain biker and you're advertising it that way and then someone hits a tree, and with liability law, I think it's not generally everyone, it's the 1 out of X situation. Mm-hmm. So someone hits a tree and it goes in and it destroys their eye or whatever, then that's when you may have a situation. But there may be ways to say, okay, I'm going to market it. I think with the patent law, yeah, of course there are ways people can do things against you, but I think the idea is you try to do as much as you can to keep it as safe as possible. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions?
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Ken is waving his hand at you.
Who is?
Ken online.
Yeah. Okay.
Just one last comment. I agreed with the gentleman before who talked about lawyers. So I think as you go around at your company, for example, just ask someone. And those lawyers may not be specialists in your area, but they can at least give you some directionality. The other thing I remember, and I think it was a guy from here, was saying he did an incubator or an accelerator program or something like that. And as part of that program, they had an in-house lawyer that would consult with them on a weekly basis. But he was sort of laughing and saying there were 2 guys in his group, including him, that every week wanted to use the lawyer. So it's like these 2 guys were doing stuff, and he said he got a lot of stuff done. Like I think he got a lot of his contracts done that way. And so if you can get into a program like that, you may have access to free legal advice.
Great, thank you.
Ken, did you have something to say? He left the screen. I know, Phil, I see you. Hold on a second. Ken had his hand up first. Maybe he went to get some coffee. Okay, Phil, you have more input. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to come in again. You've got something that if you go through your marketing and yourselves get some good support on that. The gentleman that was just speaking, I'm sorry, I don't know his name, gave you a lot of really good information. Alan has given you some really good information. And as you opened up and said, I'm a scientist, I'm not a marketing and sales guy, I just want to repeat that back to you, all right? Because be wary, all right? Unfortunately, the US is the way the US is. And if you don't cross your T's and dot your I's, you could get yourself into a lot of trouble. But but don't get diverted too much by that in what I'm trying to say, in respect that don't stop pushing your product forward. Okay, make sure you go through all the marketing things that you need to do to make product safe, reliable, and good for consumers. But don't leave yourself open. And I've heard you a couple of times. I mean, you repeated it again after Alan spoke to you and that other gentleman. I'm a scientist. I can, I know where I'm going to go. I'm not. If a company was big enough to get me, they would have done it by now. No, they wouldn't, because they don't know you. Luxottica doesn't know you. But if you start impinging on their market 2 or 3 years down the road, they will, and then you will know about it, and they'll have more money than you will ever have, I think, because they've been around for a long, long time. They can do a lot of damage. So I'm just saying, be wary of the holes that you can fall into, and don't make sure you cover yourself and your product, but on the same line, make sure you push it, and you push it in the right directions.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, Aaron, we have 2 more questions. The first one is red or green?
Green.
And what's the first thing that this community can do for you today?
Beta testers. There are so many wonderful people sitting out in front of me right now with such diverse backgrounds, lives, and occupations. Beta testers. People with poor vision, please, I would love for you to beta test this product for me. People without and who just want to try it out, great. I have different styles, I have different colors. I'd love to start taking statistics on which one that is. But beyond that, mentorship, whether it's marketing, whether it's legal. And I don't know, they're competing, right? But first off, beta testers so that can run in the background. And then in the meantime, we can have conversations about marketing and legal.
Great job, Aaron. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause. All right, since Sonia chimed in, we're only going to announce 3 events today because I want to leave some time at the end to make an announcement. Sonia, you want to come online and tell us about the Women's Entrepreneur Conference?
Sure. So We Mean Business, which is a program out of Arrowhead at NMSU, is having their women's conference November 17th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Isleta Casino. So it's in Albuquerque this year. And also I get to be the MC, so that'll be fun.
Hey, that's cool. Way to go. Come on up, Danielle.
Good morning, everyone. Danielle Zlepeski, end-of life coach and death doula. Monday the 16th, so not this following Monday, but the next one, at Tin Can Alley, Santa Fe Brewing Company, upstairs, east patio, we'll be doing death overdrafts. So come, have a beer, come talk about that thing that terrifies everybody, and let's make it a little less scary. So, thank you.
Danielle's helping my family tonight.
I'm Barbara Dawson with Purple Mulch, and the Wednesday after the Monday, so on the 18th of October, here at Fatpipe, we're going to be doing an authentic communication workshop. It's an hour and a half, starts at 11:30, goes to 1, it's free, it's a lunch and learn, so bring your lunch. So question for you all is, anybody here feel like you could maybe use some support around communicating to move your business forward? How do I do that? Anybody have that thought? Maybe 1, 2, okay, great. 3, all right, good. Come and join us. It's going to be a workshop. It's going to be about how do I communicate more effectively when I'm looking for people that might want my product or my service. So that's the 18th.
So I do have a list of announcements that I gave last week, and if anybody wants a copy of that, just email me. Jason, come on up, buddy. Come. We're going to try not to cry. Today is Jason's last day at 1 Million Cups because his life dream has come true and he gets to move to Monterey. and we will miss you terribly. He has been the most supportive person in our community and has been our photographer for, gosh, 4 years, maybe more. 5.5, oh my God. He did my family's portraits. He's amazing. So we're really gonna miss you, Jason. So I wanted to leave some time at the end for everybody to give Jason a hug. So that's why I wanted there to be a few more minutes. And oh, Barbara has something to say.
So it's not a goodbye cake.
So they can hear you online.
It's not a goodbye cake, but it's goodbye cookies, because every time we get together, Jason always says, "Are you going to bring cookies?"
Those smell good.
So they're chocolate chip oatmeal, mostly whole wheat, so we'll call them healthy.
You want to say anything?
I'll just say what I say to anyone who asks me about 1 million cups, or that I tell people about 1 million cups to get them to try to come, and that it's one of the things about this city that makes me feel positive about this city and makes me feel better after I'm at it. So that's what I've told people to try to come here. And from a personal standpoint, as Lisa said, many people have been clients, everybody has been friends, and it's been a lot of years, and it's anchored my week for 5.5 years. So I might wake up Wednesday in California and get the camera in a bag and have nowhere to go by accident and realize that mistake and stuff. But yeah, it's just been a very positive experience for me, one of the few positive experiences for me each week. And I really appreciate everybody here over that time and talking to everybody about so many different things afterward and all that. And it's been like, my weekly family. So I really appreciate everybody.
You can log in from California.
Yeah, he can get up early and join us online. If anybody has friends in Monterey, business owners, be sure and send them Jason's contact information so we can start building his network and his clientele there.
Only about 9 months from now, so I'm going to live the Monterey lifestyle for about 9 months or so and not too worry about business too much.
Life dream, very cool. All right, so thank you, Jason. You want to come and wrap it up?
It's a lot of fun to get up here every week and figure out something to close with. And this week, I want to tell you a story. There was a Hungarian biochemist who was having some trouble getting funding, and this was quite a few decades ago. And she decided to pull up stakes with her husband and her daughter and leave Hungary. They had to sew $1,200 into a teddy bear because they weren't allowed to take cash out of the country. She came to the United States, got an academic job, working on something she thought was important, nobody else did. She had some really lousy academic appointments, really lousy success at getting grants, and her work, which turned out to be important, was not published in Nature and Science. It had to go down to the second-tier academic journals. The reason I'm telling you this story is the value of persistence. The woman is Katie Carrico. And on Monday, she won the Nobel Prize for synthetic RNA. The basis of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, she probably saved your lives, somebody's lives anyway, millions of lives. And how many people in this room have heard of her before? Okay, good for you. Now, you all know who Taylor Swift is? You should know who Katie Carrico is. And also, great week, shout out to Ubiquity. The Nobel Prize in Physics was announced this morning for the invention of quantum dots. Wow. Way to go, New Mexico. All right, see you next week.